All right, and welcome back to Free the Founder, where we talk about ways to get founders and business owners free. So time, money, and everything else, bandwidth, your soul. Today we're going to be freeing the founder of Cameron Williams. Cameron, I've known you for a couple of years here, and you've just been doing some crazy, amazing stuff with freeing founders. Mostly on the money side, of course, you're with Kinley Consulting. That is your group. And you're a professional CFO. And Cameron, look, man, I've been talking to people and just conversing and passing, do you know this person, that person? Everyone knows Cameron Williams, like everyone in the online community. Yeah, your reputation, it kind of, speaks for itself. So it's cool to see. And that means one thing. It means you're very valuable. It means you've been helping a lot of people, which is way cool. So really excited to dig in a little bit today. So yeah, man, first off, how are you, dude? How you been?
Man, just super blessed. We just wrapped up a year in for all of our clients. So super happy to get that feedback and to kind of help them to start planning for 2025. Now we're in tax season, so everything is like times 10. So, just really focusing on your systems, your processes, workflows, making sure they're as tight as possible because it's already starting. It's already getting crucial.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you could use some freeing of yourself as a founder with the tax stuff, man. But I know you've been cranking along on that and just bringing in people. Look, I kind of want to just start at the beginning and just quickly understand, like, what got you into what you're doing? What got you into taxes, money, the finances? Why are you a CFO?
I think so. Going back to high school, we used to go to this little storefront church. So I used to kind of like help them count the money on Sundays. My grandma was an accountant for the city of Atlanta, and she retired at I swear, like 53 or something. So she was always good with numbers. And then my best friend in high school, their parents lived across the street from our school. And the neighborhoods that be across the street from the school, them be like the fancy ones. And so I'm like, your house is amazing. I'm like, what do your parents do? And so I found out they were accountants. And so, in wrapping up senior year, I'm like, I don't necessarily know what I want to do. But they were like, you're good at math, do accounting, which I wouldn't necessarily say. That's the reason you should pick it. But that's how it started. So started there, went to college, double majored in accounting and finance, went right back and got my master's. While I was in my master's program, was doing a grad assistantship and working at the same time. Got a job with a local CPA firm. Then when, of course, I graduated, just went full time. And pretty much has been, a wrap since then. Just have continued to move back from college. I went down in South Georgia at this school called Valdosta State, which are D2 national champions. Most championships in Georgia, not the Dogs, by the way. I just want to say that. Go Blazers. But moved back home to Atlanta. I'm born and raised here. And then moved into private accounting, which is just a fancy way of saying you work in the accounting department of a company. So like the accountant at Coca-Cola, Pepsi, something like that. So worked in, I think it was software, then energy, and then in the number one card processing company in the world. And what is card processing? Essentially, like if you go to Kroger, everybody swipes. At the end of the night, they batch out all of that information. We were the company that took it, did like all the accounting, paid whoever. So as a supervisor there, was over a team of about 6 to 8 people. Then I got laid off. So that was very crazy because I was about to have a baby in less than 30 days.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize that. I don't think you ever told me that before. So you were in a situation where you were about to have a baby, all was going well, boom, you got cut off and you had to figure it out. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
So I got laid off at the end of August. My kid was born September 22nd. So I was like, please, Lord, don't let that 30-day lapse because we need that insurance. She's my only, like they like to say, free baby. Like we didn't have to pay a thing. So I was super thankful for that. That was a miracle. Then ironically got a temp job. So I was like, all right, cool. This is supposed to last till like the next July. Wrong. Got let go the day after Christmas. So Christmas is
Whoa.
always kind of bittersweet for me because it's like I remember having Christmas, go back to work the next day, got let go. So now I'm like, this has happened twice in like 4 months. Like, what is wrong with me? I'm terrible. I'm not good enough. I got a new baby. Life sucks. And then, did a lot of praying. And that's how we ended up starting Kinley. I had a buddy who was working on his QuickBooks, and he's like, man, this stuff is so hard. I'm like, no, it's not as easy. Then I was like, oh, wait, I can help business owners with their accounting. Okay, cool. And then that's what kind of started the journey.
Amazing. See, I didn't realize that was your genesis as you were forced into it, but it makes sense, right? People in this field, they're a little more risk averse. They're looking at the data, but you just got thrown right on in and found an opportunity. Well, amazing, man. And I'm glad you did because you've helped a lot. And Cameron, I mean, what drives you, man? That's what I want to know. What drives you to help others? Every time I see you posting, you're posting things about you've helped this person. Every time I talk to you, you're deep in the weeds trying to solve more problems for people. What drives you, man? You're like one of the most driven guys on that side truly that I know.
Well, thank you. I think just growing up, like my family is a family that serves. Like my granddad is 76 or 77. He cleans the church every week. He has like a key to the church. He's like on the trustee board and a deacon and all this kind of stuff. My parents were the same way. My mom and my stepdad, they we were the ones that were like, open the church. My stepdad ran sound. My mom sang on the praise team, and then she was the secretary and all of that. And then, like, even currently, I think my mom, works with elementary at the church. So, like, so we've always served, and then that doesn't even get into helping people. Hey, we got extra food, come over, all that type stuff. So I saw that growing up. So to me, that was just kind of the norm. That was secondary. That was second nature. So I think a lot of that has just stuck with me as I become an adult. Because, I do a lot of the same things. Like I serve in the teen church or our teen ministry at church. I run sound, maybe 2 or 3 times a month. So just taking a lot of those concepts and just funneling that into the business world. I believe I was put here to help and encourage others. And one of the ways you do that in my particular case is with their money and their finances. So a big shift happened for me about 1.5 years ago, because I used to hate like trying to sell. Like I just thought of sales as like I'm trying to pull something over on you to get you to pay me. But one of my coaches was like, Cameron, no, that's the wrong way to approach it. Selling is serving. You got to think about it from, hey, there's somebody out there that's struggling with their finances or struggling with their taxes or overpaying, and they don't know that you can help them. So it's your job to go find them and serve them and help them. Yes, you will have to charge because your time is valuable, but at the end of the day, you're doing it because you're motivated to help them. So I have to sell you so that I can help you because I got this solution. I can fix your problem. And I think that really changed the game for me. And that's, when our business took a different step, one of the many steps. But that's just, I literally have it on my board is serve first. And it aligns with who I am as a person. It doesn't feel like work when I'm serving versus like sales used to feel like I have to try really hard. Versus now it's like, look, man, I know how to help you. We've done this a ton of times for other people. We do it every week. We know the results that we can get for you. I'm trying to help you to solve this problem. And for me, that's just a much easier way to approach it. And I think our clients appreciate it and they feel that. It's not like, oh, he's just saying something fancy. Like they see it, they can feel it. To your point, they've talked to maybe another agency or they've seen the social media post. So it's kind of like that just kind of, I guess, aligns with everything by the time we get done with it.
That makes sense. It's all kind of, it builds on each other, exponential. But literally this morning, Cam, we're in a joint group, one of the joint groups we're in. Somebody's blasting your name, saying how they're free now. They actually know what they're doing. You might not even have seen it yet. But there's one I saw, and so they're coming from all over, left, right. Yeah, you're just helping enough people you don't even remember which. Man, well, that's amazing. And you mentioned problems. I think that's a really awesome and unique way to look at sales. I can help you. Let me help you, right? It's going to pay off. And I know you've saved, thousands of dollars for people, and that's freedom in itself. But what main problems are you looking for that you can help somebody, right? Because you're talking with people. What are the biggest problems you see people that they're blind to, that they don't realize that they can get help to get free from someone like you?
They kind of center around pretty much these same like 3 or 4 concepts. So part one, probably the easiest to start with, is taxes. Nobody understands it. And heck, to be honest, like this was like the book. So this is the tax guide Yes, you can see it's not pictures. It's like that's what we have to know. So I think bringing clarity to how can we utilize this to best help you, right? There's no point in making all this money, but then we got to go pay, a bunch of it to the government when we could be using that. So I think that's part one. I think part two is I'm a super summarize and say helping business owners to understand that you can live your dream life. And what is your dream life? That perfect picture of how your life will be however you have it. So for some people, it's like, I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to do way more traveling. I want to take my kids to Disney World. Well, we can help you get there. We just need to bring extreme clarity to where your financial situation is now, how to get there, and then help you to bridge the gap. That's all our job is. Now, how we get there will be through having good bookkeeping, good accounting, some financial analysis, projections, all of those different pieces. But the end goal is, like, we have one client, he's like, hey, my daughter's a senior. She wants to go on a trip to Hawaii. That's going to be $10,000, 10 grand. At the time we started working with him, he was making about 40 to 50K, I think. But the margins were super small. Like, he was not optimized tax-wise, etc. Fast forward till today, and this was probably a year ago, I think, actually, almost to the date, probably. Fast forward a year to current, we're in February of 25. Well, he made some changes. We kept that as a goal. He started one of his sources of income is rev share and working with like ads and stuff with a certain company. And now at the very end of the year, he flipped it from a bad year to having a great year. And now he has that 10K and he has the money to do it. But it started with, well, first off, where are you? Because he's like, I don't know my cash flow. I don't know where my money going. I just know I don't feel like I got enough and I'm making money. So we had to work through all of that, get him the clarity first. Then here, let's give you a roadmap. Hey, if we hit these, then you can get there. Or when you hit this specific trigger, you can get there. Or hey, you don't need to hire anybody else because right now margins are tight. We just need to give them more things to do to max their capacity. Or hey, you need to pay yourself more money. That's why you so sad because you don't ever pay yourself nothing. Like all of those things come into play. So now like his team is getting paid. He's paying himself. He likes weekly. So he's paying himself more money than ever. He's still able to take distributions on the side if he wants to. The business is healthy. They're starting to get some build up in that savings account. And most importantly, he can do what he wants to do, which is, I want to take my daughter to a senior trip to celebrate her. So that's kind of like the two main ways we're helping. How do we help you with these taxes so that, I don't want you to pay 50 grand if you only need to pay 30. You can take that 20 and reinvest it. Or how do we get you to your dream life? What is that? Where are you currently? How do we bridge the gap by using the financial data that's already present and transforming it to get you where you need to go?
Gotcha. Yeah. And I feel like clarity is kind of the bridge that makes somebody really be able to see, oh, I got to make different decisions. I got to do this different strategy from the data that exists. Gotcha, man. So, do you see consistent mistakes when you go in and look at people's books and you're discovering what's wrong? I mean, what kind of mistakes and issues do you see that people typically are making?
Yeah, so, again, super summarized, because everybody's different, but some are kind of similar. So, some flags that we kind of see that are consistent across the board. So, typically, this isn't as much of a flag. I just really don't like it because it's going to answer some of the owner's questions. So one thing you'll see is it'll just say revenue, and let's just, to keep it super simple, $1 million. That's okay. Good. We know you made money. But the problem is, which is what they come to us asking, well, Cameron, I don't know which service makes me the most money. Are we diversified enough? What are our margins on these? Well, you're never going to know because it's in one big old clump called revenue. We like to see that split out to your different service or package offerings. So that would be one. But again, I wouldn't fail you, so to speak, if this was a diagnostic because of that. I know that's my thing. So, okay. What you'll start seeing though, when we go to the balance sheet, when you start seeing negative bank or checking accounts, when you start seeing negative credit card or loan balances, it's impossible. That would mean if you ever see hey, on my credit card it says negative 10 grand. That would say in reality, you overpaid your credit card bill by $10,000. So you got like a $10,000 credit. Nobody does that. But that's what your books are showing. Or a lot of times we'll see loans that they're like, oh, I paid that off a year ago or 2 years ago. Well, it's still on here. So if you were to ever go get a line of credit or get an investor or want to get bought out, they may be scared because it looks like you got all these loans and debt that you really don't have. Like those are some of the kinds of things. A lot of times the distributions are off. I'll be like, hey, like the one I just did yesterday or last night. The lady, I think she owns some type of wellness clinic. It says that her distributions for last year were $580,000. Now I ain't the smartest man in the world, but if your net income was 115, there's no way that that's even possible. Of course, she responded back, oh my gosh, I didn't know it said that. So like that's an easy one for us to find. And then on the P&L, the income statement, I'm just seeing extra stuff that doesn't need to be there, like reimbursements. That's not a category. If you get reimbursed for something, you bought something specific, like you bought office supplies or it's for meals or for travel. So that's an easy one. People come up with all these different categories that truly don't exist, like credit card expense. There's no such thing as a credit card expense. So if I see some of these things, it's like, yeah, that's wrong. You know, or like if in our case we work with a lot of marketing agencies, if I see that your tech for the whole year is like $2,000, a very high chance that that's incorrect because they're running ads, they're running GHL, Loom, Zoom, Slack. There's no way. It's just no way. So just because we do it so much and we see it every single week, we pretty much at this point kind of have a pretty solid idea of like, not necessarily you should fall in this range, but that looks really off. And that's pretty much kind of just a diagnostic in how we would first assess what's the problem.
Got it, man. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, finances are so interesting too, man, because you can really chase to the root of problems and habits that people are doing and really help them make those changes moving ahead. Yeah, man, that's great. Like, I love the story part, man. What's the biggest like difference if you had to ballpark? What's the biggest difference you've made in someone's life through the work you're doing?
We saved last year, there's $1 million agency. We had worked with them before and had saved them, I don't remember, maybe 30 grand, 20, 30 grand. Then he left and then he came back. So he comes back, he makes $1 million. So he's grown in the 1 or 2 years we haven't had him. And he's like, I just feel like this ain't right. And come to find out on the diagnostic, like I just told you about, he was missing a ton of expenses. Cause I'm just like, there's no way you made $1 million and your tech, I think it was only like 5K. I'm like, I refuse to believe it. Well, we are missing that. Long story short, he was missing like $300,000 in expenses. So we got that, redid and revamped his whole set of financials for that prior year. And told him to go get his money back from that accountant because they clearly failed. So he got that like $5,500 back. And then ended up saving him over $150,000 in taxes. Because the way we figured that out, hey, when you first gave it to us, it was this. I literally do the tax return to see what was that. And then I make the edits for current day. Now that we're finished, it's this. This subtract the difference in taxes owed. So it's over 150 grand. He was able to, of course, not only save that and pay way less, but then he had just had a baby. He's like, I need a car. He was like, can I pay for it cash? I'm like, technically you have it. So he was able to get that car brand new, no note, paid for straight cash. But it all started from us knowing what should you be having on here? What are the kind of typical range? I don't see that. Revamping it, completely redoing it, and then of course finishing with the tax return and getting him that result. So I think that's probably been the biggest to help him to save money. Because again, let's just say he was going to owe 180 grand, but by the time we finished, you only owe 30. I don't know about, I think as the saying goes, it's levels to this, right? Like people don't understand there's bookkeepers, there's accountants, and then there's kind of the unicorn, so to speak. So a bookkeeper, their only job is to tell you, these are office supplies. Which I always tell my people, I tell them on the sales call, you don't need me for that. You're smart. That's insulting your intelligence. Accountants can maybe tell you like, you're doing this or you're doing that. They can probably see some trends. People like, the third one is you got tax only people. I don't want to touch none of that. Just give that to me so I can do my taxes only, the strategy, or just prepare. Then you got the unicorns that are kind of like us, where we can do all of that, plus we do a little bit of strategy, which is for me from my finance degree and working in private. So when you start going to the level of people, basically I tell people, once you're over 20, 30 grand, you need to come find the unicorns, because now the questions you ask are different. The business owner who's only making $6,000, $7,000 a month, that's great. We don't sneeze at that or like clown them or anything, but they only need to know this. Office supplies, cool. The people, I don't know about you, but making $20,000 a month, that's not the norm for like 90% of America, if not 95. So you're in a whole different bracket. You're making more money than you've ever made before. You're trying to hire people and scale and get lean and all these other things. You've never done this before. So the difference in accountants, a bookkeeper's job is not to give you strategy. It's just to put it in the bucket of office supplies. The strategy, which is like what we do, for example, that's, I need to take, remember what I said at the beginning, your dream life is fill in the blank. How do I get you there? What are you currently doing? Well, what is your current packages? Oh, you have 20. We need to figure out how to get that down to 5. You charge what? Man, we'd have to sell 5 times as many versus if you just raised your price, you get less clients making more money, blah, blah, blah. You don't have a team. Why not? You have all this extra money. It's because you got a mentality because, you was broke, growing up. So you just trying to keep it all. No. We want to duplicate so you can afford this. Well, or my favorite, you want to make $1 million this year. What would that team size look like? Because right now it's just you and your EA. Well, I would need an account manager and a client success manager. Okay, how much do they cost? So like those questions, a bookkeeper can't answer. They don't have that knowledge base. They don't go that deep. They weren't trained that way. An accountant, that's kind of, it depends. Some are really good. And then of course, like I said, you got the unicorns. I only know this stuff because that's what I was having to do at that #1 card processing company. We had to be able to explain it to our manager. Hey, revenue is down by 30 grand this month because last month they have 482 clients versus this month they only have 397. Like you had to be that specific. So in learning that, and then just taking the lessons that I've learned to grow in my business and the lessons I've learned from my coaches, you combine all of that, and now that's where that fractional CFO and consulting comes in, because it's more than just, I got clean books. If you were to ask your buddies, and you know this because you see it, but on the op side, they don't know what the income statement and balance sheet, they do this. Oh, thank you so much. They don't know what it means though. And see, we're tricked in school that, hey, giving them financials, that's value. Yeah. I mean, it is valuable if you know how to interpret the data and use it. But me just giving you the data, that would be no different than like on the coding side. You can hand me a whole bunch of code. I'm sure it's valuable. I don't know what it means. I don't know how to use it. You could tell me about SEO. I don't know what that means. You can tell me about AI. Like, just telling somebody or giving them, here's a sheet, does nothing. So to your point, and getting back to your original question, why is there such a wide range? Because the experiences vary, how they learned it vary, right? Like if you're a bookkeeper, you can go somebody can sell you a course for $1,000 and you're a certified bookkeeper. Yeah, that you're not going to touch me though, because not only do I got the degrees, but this is my only career. I've never not done it. I graduated early at 21. That's literally all I've been doing since I'm 21, and I am about to be 35 this year.
24, so I was like, that's not very long, Cam, but you do look 24, by the way.
Well, thank you. But no, I'm not 24. That was a while ago. That was 10 years ago. We don't have the same experience. Like I've had to manage $1 million a day and do a bank rec and get it done and tie it out and go explain it and then go present. Like you can't beat that experience and that kind of pressure versus you just took an online course and you can go do bookkeeping. And shout out to bookkeepers. We need them. The people under 10 grand, you need them. But the people that end up coming to us, they're at 25, 30, 40, 50 grand already. Some of them are even at 1 million, and they're like, they're cool, but it's not working. They can't answer my questions. They don't understand what I'm trying to do. They're not specialized in my niche. Every time I ask them something, it takes them 2, 3, 4 weeks to get back to me. They always explain it over my head, and it's just not working. Us, on the other hand, our main niche is marketing agency. So it's not hard for me to try to break it down because I talk to you all the time. I'm in your masterminds. I go to your conferences. I go to your events. I know how to bridge that gap to help you to get there. And on top of that, I can connect you with these other agency owners. I can connect you with my coach. Hey, because I'm in that group, I know somebody who specializes. Like even with you, my person was talking about he needs help with systems. I'm like, I know somebody. Let me make a phone call. Like that type of person is super valuable versus the bookkeeper. Again, no disrespect, but that's just not what that's not what they were taught. That's not where they were positioned. That's not what they learned. So that's why you got those gaps. It's nothing wrong with basics, but when you making 40 grand a month, you don't need basics no more. We gotta upgrade this thing and blow this up because you're probably trying to get to $1 million, for example, or if you're at 1 million, you're trying to get to 2, etc. So that was a very long way to answer your question. I'm sorry.
No, we definitely went through the adventure jungle of Cam's mind with a lot of that, I'll tell you, but it's always a fun adventure. And no, really enlightening, man. I think there's a lot of gold in that. And I think it's just equal with the gold that you bring and the standard that you bring with clients. Because again, man, I can't say it enough. I've seen all over the place. Wow, Cam helped me this. Hey, Cam knows this. And it's just a testament, man, to the hard work and the knowledge you do have. And like you said, all those degrees back there, man, they're not for nothing, that's for sure. The books you showed, it takes a lot to be an expert like you are. And I know a lot of people out there are really appreciative, and you're going to help a lot of people, freeing a lot of people up. Well, yeah, man. So, last thing as we kind of get to the end of this half hour, my question for you is this. If you had one piece of advice, that laying on your deathbed advice, and you got people out there that are struggling and they recognize some of these problems, obviously one piece of advice is talk to Cam. You got to go talk to Cam. But if they didn't have Cam, what would be something someone could take action on today that can free them from this burden and help them?
A piece of action for today. I would say if you're not good with numbers, it's okay. Go find someone that is so that they can help you get the clarity you need to make whatever data-driven decision you need to make. Why do I say that? Because, a lot of marketing agencies, they're always honest. They're like, numbers are not my strong point. That's why I need to stop doing this and I need to give it to somebody. Find somebody that will care about your business and then learn about you. A strategy I may give to one client may not even come up to another one because they're different points in life. One may be married, one may be just engaged, one may be married but have 3 kids and the wife homeschool. There's so many different pieces. That person needs to really learn about you, what you want, what you're trying to do, your goals, the future, so that they can best help you. And then it's their job to connect the dots from where we currently are to this is where you want to be. Okay, you got to make 5 sales every month and you can't offer this package. It has to be one of these. They have to go that level of detail to really help you to grow. Again, if you're under 10K, bookkeeper's fine. But once we're doing 20, 30K and up, you got to invest in yourself to get a better quality professional to help you get where you need to go.
Amazing, yeah. And asking for help, never a bad thing, right? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and obvious strengths here at Cam in everything financial. Again, I've said it 27 times now for number 28. Go to Cam if you need help with anything numbers. He will set you free. So with Kinley Consulting, and Cam, can you give us the website if anyone is dealing with this now and wants to contact you? What is the website?
Website, kinleyconsulting.com. That's KYNLI consulting.com. You'll know you're in the right place because you'll see my face, of course. So yeah, just reach out to us there on Messenger. I'm on there pretty often when I'm not in stuff like this or in meetings with clients. So yeah, just reach out and we'll try our best to help you.
It comes. With that, Cameron, thanks so much for being on today, man. Really appreciate you always and all the good work you're doing.